Hey everybody. So I just wanted to do a video on kind of how my building is going of my old Transformers. I got rid of my original Transformers. My first one was Gears, which is a lot like Swerve. And so I've kind of, since I haven't found a good project Gears yet, kind of just, I used to have Astro Train, so now I've redone him, and but I'm going to kind of just talk about how this is come to be. So I bought a parts lot, and this, what I've found is, like, if you're just going to go for tires for one, and I'm in love with the G1 stuff from 84, 85, 86. I remember thinking back as a kid now, you know, even back then I was like, wow, they really cheapened stuff up, and I kind of like lost the interest in them. But you know, the tires, if you're going to build these now, these old tires are shit. See how that's just junk? And you could pay $9.99 for a tire. It's, you know, from some seller like, oh, I don't know, Wheeljack's Lab. But that's some event coming up, I guess. But you can buy a whole parts lot and just use the tires off of it if you find good ones, and then you can build kind of like what I got on my shelf out there. This is the way to do it. For like 28 bucks, you can buy a whole shitload of parts, and then you just choose which figures are worth your time or not. Now, let me set this dead tire down. There's a few things I want to talk about, though. You know, as an adolescent adult now, you got to remember these things used to be child's play things, and you know, to look at it with the perspective of, oh, Rhino Video didn't do a good job in their recreating and stuff. You know what? You haven't done dick for it, so they did fine enough. I mean, I remember my mom took me and my brother to see Transformers the movie, and you know, I cried when Optimus died, as did probably every other 4, 5, 6-year-old. But you know, to have, we had the VHS player and the beta player, and we got the VHS later, so anything that would have been recorded from the TV would have been on beta. We weren't lucky enough to have a VHS tape. However, this, and I don't have a VHS player anymore, but this is the 1987 Christmas home video, and my brother got Ultra Magnus that year. I'd love to watch him unwrap, you know, the old box again. I don't have a player to play it on. There's one at work, so maybe I'm going to take it there, play it, and record it on this camera. But the Rhino video stuff's fine. It's for anybody who's going off the deep end. You know, when I got rid of my collection, it was like 2002, before I joined the Coast Guard. I gave them to my cousin, and it was just like passing along something that was my childhood toys and my brother's. He died, so passing it all along. And now I didn't know there was a whole revival going on, and the, you know, BotCon and all this other stuff. But to have some 40, you know, God knows how old the guy is, 45-year-old, he's somewhere on the internet whining about the Rhino video series. You're damn lucky somebody did that favor for anybody to watch, whether it's got noises or not. Who the fuck cares? Grow up, dude. So, you know, for me, I fall in this era, and I'm not a freaking saved, you know, my whole childhood or anything. I passed it along, as you should do when you grow up. And to look back, now, I ordered, you know, the box for Hot Rod. When I fixed him, I used a parts one of Reissue, and they say 8+, but they've kind of, through China, I ordered the Dinobots. It was like 130 bucks, but I got the whole thing. I've only taken Grimlock out, but they say ages 6 and up, and snap-on weapons and accessories. So the box is close to original, close enough, you know. I don't care. I don't care about little little details like that. I don't live in a box, okay? I take stuff out and I touch it. And as you should. And these Transformers remind me of the cars that were on the streets in my childhood. That's why I like the 84, 85 series stuff. But the 86 series stuff and on, when the movie came out, yeah, Hot Rod was cool. I remember I got him at a store. It was like Kohl's. And he was broken and out of box. The top was broken off of him back then. But I was glad to get him. And he was one of my favorite figures for a while. Now I look back and I see, well, now I look at him and I see they really cheapened up, just like I believed then. When Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came on, I could give a rat's ass about the Transformers. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was what I would want to watch. But that's child logic. And that's where this stuff, if you're going to have fun with it, instead of going around and bitching about some guy who has a sticker in the wrong place or something, grow up. Grow up. Get a life. Okay, so now these guys, this was the only Dinobot I ever had as a kid. I'm going to keep them in the box for now. Slag. These boxes seem more true to what I remember them like than the Walmart reissue one, but again, it's cool. Here's the Snarl. I'm sorry, the Swoop. Okay. And this is how China sends it in a styrofoam box like this. It's just, there's Sludge, the Brontosaurus. You know, and Snarl. So I'm glad to have these too. Now, I find my happiness playing with, you know, fixing up the old cars, as I fixed up many old cars for real too, but this guy seems to remind me of my dog that passed away, so I just wanted to kind of rant, I guess, about people who maybe forgot what to look at as if they were of the child's mind having fun, and that these are child's play toys, or were then. Now they're collectibles, 40-year-old collectibles. But realize you're 40, you're not 5 anymore, and your perspective should have changed. You know, if you're going to buy, if you have the extra money to even buy the Rhino set versus this shelf, you know, I watch my stuff, I touch my stuff. My stuff is never going to be, you know, in a case living in a box somewhere, like this Nintendo game that just sold for like $10,000 that you hear about. It's a freaking game that was in an attic in Nevada, which is pretty hot if you've ever been there. And it's in its original seal. Great. You haven't been able to take the seal off and look at the condition of the thing inside. You haven't been able to play it, and you're going to spend $9,000 on that? Doesn't make sense to me. And that's the thing about my building these Transformers from parts. It's cheaper. You could spend $300 on one for sure, but who the hell wants to do that? And two, I remember playing with these things. So for me, if I can get one back into what condition mine would have been like had I had that one and been able to play with it, I'll be happy. You know, these guys, when I did that's kind of cool what I did with this other Megatron. I had 2 parts Megatrons, so I built one he's broken, but he's missing a hand and stuff. I just shoved the barrel down the hand, and to me it's cool. You know, that's all that matters. It's what's cool to you, I guess. Yeah, but you know, played with condition, but good played with condition. So if these were what I had as a kid, these ones, then yeah, I would have probably broke the top off on the Datsuns, and you know, I may not correct that because that makes me feel like where I'd have been with mine if I had that one all along. However, I did take care of my things too when I had them, and well, anything in general that I've ever gotten rid of has been in good shape. So I'm taking them back to that point of, and in doing so, I'm kind of redoing my childhood in a way of watching, you know, the series. But all right, Oh, there was one other thing I had out here. Kind of going back to that, you know, let's say I was 5 in 1984 when the Transformers came out, but even looking at the stuff I had, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Garfield, in school I was into cars, and I ended up looking at this, you know, the Porsche and stuff. My buddy Eric Nye in Minnesota, I must have traded something to him and got his folder and scratched his name out. This Porsche, this was another one from Eric Nye. I wrote my name Ken in there. I think my brother had this one, so I scratched him out. For some reason I scratched his name out extra scratching. That's weird. So, you know, I was getting the cars, and I was getting into them, and I can see that now even in reflection. So, alright everybody, have a good day. Build yourself some old Transformers and get the parts. Don't spend, you know, $10 on just a tire. Just buy a bunch of broken ones and use the tires off them. If you haven't taken a tire off yours, if you have a collection, get some tires just from a parts lot like this, because you, in moving them and stuff, will realize how dry rotted that old rubber is. Have fun.